All right. Hello, friends, and welcome to Canvas Menagerie. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of this game. I got an email a couple days ago from Crystal Gameworks, who are the developers who made this game, giving me a copy of this game and saying I might like to try it out, and it sounded interesting, so here we are. This game is about a group of actors in their 20s. It is a safe for work, BL, queer story. The art looked interesting. It looked like something that maybe I'd want to try out, and so we are going to try out an hour of it in this episode and see how it goes. I don't really know a lot about this. I don't know any of the characters. I don't know what's going to be going on in this, so we will see together. But let's start. I guess this is okay. Act 1. Let's go. Chapter 1. School days. Okay. Oh. It just kind of automatically went. So high school. For some people, the best time of their life. For some people, a time to redefine themselves. And for others like me, a long 4 years of just trying to get by. As you can see, some memories are more potent than others when constructing objects. Selena, what kind of memories are these? Memories where you were feeling a strong emotion, like anger, sadness, and joy. Oh, it's behind me. There's the like. Which of these is easiest to create items with? Usually angry memories, as they're easier to recall. The easier you can recall a memory, the easier you can use it to build with. That's right. Never let your anger get the best of you. The rules of the world were a constant reminder, regardless of how old you were. Not how to do your taxes or how to build a strong work ethic. When emotions running hot can result in even children bringing life to objects with their bare hands. Okay, the government makes sure to emphasize how important it is to keep your cool. If those emotions run hot, then chaos comes. You looking at us funny? He must think he's a big shot since he's working for the Capitol. Where's your keys? Here, take my wallet. I on ground. Yeah, I'll take that too. Now where's your keys? My right pocket. Not your damn car keys. I want your government ID and keys. Don't be dumb, just hand it over. Find someone? Okay. Finally, it's over. This game is just going, alright. Have any plans this weekend? Of course, it's time to hit up the arcade that just opened up by my house. I'm trying to move out of the way. Here you go. I'll just be over here. I still can't believe there's someone out there who thought investing in a brand new arcade is a good idea. It's all about the nostalgia, the old-timey aesthetic. You'll get it once you see it. He's cute, okay. There's just some things you can't create with memories, huh? Exactly. You just gotta see it. Okay, let's go. Damn. Aw, come on, you ran right into that bullet. Being a galactic defender is a lot harder than it looks. You try it. It's a lot nicer here than I was expecting. Color me surprised. Something up? My father's been working late recently because of all the crime. It's like these guys are just getting more and more bold each day. Every night he's answering another stabbing or murder. My mom freaks out now when I'm not home before sunset. It wasn't like this a couple of years ago. It's weird, right? Right? Yeah. Quit making your mom worry then. She's probably already worried half to death about your dad at work. Vance. What? It's true. It's not a good time to be out there dealing with thugs. I could hand you a bat and you'd fit right in with them. Hey, what do you mean by that? Don't joke about things like that. I think the world is tact? Okay. Oh, the word. I misread. Sorry. Also, Vance is sorry too. Care to play a game? You've been doing this shtick since middle school. It's not much of a game if I already know what's going to happen. Aw, you won't even give me a number? I don't want roses. Then... Ooh. Wow, you've really improved. I remember when all you could make was a single rose. Now, if only I could make real ones. If people could recreate organic stuff, we'd all be in trouble. But then we'd have access to a lot of great tools, like recreating organs. You're so innocent and trusting. Hey! Oh, these guys are back. Okay, interesting animations. Oh my god, that was amazing. Is that guy alright? Don't think he's being bullied, do you? Huh? They don't exactly look like friends. What are we waiting for? Nosy, aren't you? It's called being a good citizen. You can stay here if you want. And miss out on you getting into a fight? No thank you. Hey, no picking fights. At least not at school. Okay. Come on, don't chicken out now. I already told you what I know. This isn't looking good. You think? Hey, what's going on here? Wait. Were you followed? I don't know. I'm not trying anything, I swear. Looks like you're the only guy trying something. The only one? I think we took the wrong door to social studies. I thought it was this way, but I guess not. Let's just ask for directions elsewhere. Yeah, somewhere else. Looks like class is happening right now. Leave. Why? Because... we're talking business, okay? What kind of business? That was really cool. I really love the animations in this. Oh my god. Wouldn't you like to know? Would you? You can't be serious, right? Sure, why not? Empires aren't toppled overnight. This country can't last much longer as it is. It needs to evolve. It needs to be pruned, okay? That's not sounding good. And then I can move back, I think. That's a wrap. Okay. So that was all like something recorded, either a movie or a TV show, or you know what? I said that this was about actors. I'm so overwhelmed, okay. I feel my feet fall to the ground as the rest of my body slumps to the concrete. The production crew wastes no time and surrounds us. Just a couple of minutes of rest, please, and then I'll be up. This song that's playing in the background is in a different game as well. That's so much fun, being able to recognize that. Anyway, let me review camera 2. Marissa, make sure we're good on camera 3. A person wearing a floppy cap and more than slightly askew glasses walks out, clapping their hands. Several things, such as their age, nationality, background, and most worryingly, financial backings, are a complete mystery. As eccentric and questionable as they may seem at first, and fifth meeting, though, they are a fully competent director and writer, from what I've seen. For now. Whoa, okay. Now that I'm able to take a breather, I can fully appreciate how spacious this place is. There's just text everywhere. A group of workers move to start disassembling the lights for the day, while another crew resets the props. A burly man passes me, pushing a dolly with all sorts of equipment on it, while a smaller guy takes over moving one of the cameras. This by far is the largest set I've ever been on. All the photo shoots and commercials I filmed before pale to this. We're not even at real action scenes, but I'm already worn out. Am I that out of shape? I always thought I was a little fit, but maybe I need to hit the treadmill. This is behind me still. Then again, when's the last time I even set foot in a gym? Stunt coordination doesn't count. Here. A soft voice to my right jerks my thoughts back to the set. I look up to see Ren standing beside me, hand outstretched. His light, wavy hair is somehow only a little tousled from our last scene. I can make out a few drops of sweat on his neck, but for the most part, he looks unfazed. It's just one of Hollywood's most popular and hottest celebrities holding a hand out for me, a tired mess lying on the floor. Nothing major. Thank you. Any attempts to make my voice not sound breathless is futile. I sigh at my pitiful state and accept his hand. It'd be way more awkward if I didn't, right? I've gotta continuously sit like this, okay. Good job today. Yeah, you too. I can't even attempt eye contact right now. Okay. This man broke social media for a good month straight. In a world where the lifespan of drama is 2 hours on a fast day, he continuously managed to reclaim his spot on every trending tab at least once every other day. It was only a kiss. Okay, that's how it started. He'd recently turned 18, a small-time but attractive actor, and was caught kissing his male co-star behind the scenes. Ooh. Except it wasn't just any movie they were filming. The two were leads for a widely anticipated movie adaptation of a popular teen romance novel series, and instead of spending time with the female lead like the tabloids had been reporting on, they were flirting with each other. Of course, it didn't stop there. Movie set after movie set, boyfriend after boyfriend, he only became more and more infamous, and more of a teenage heartthrob. At least that's what my agent Jules told me. And now his gaze is on me. In the literal sense, of course. You're new to fight scenes, right? I rub the back of my neck. That obvious? He smiles at me, a hand raised to his face in a small laugh. It's cute. Well, in practice, you kept staying later than everyone, and today you looked actually terrified. Is that going to show up on camera? It better. Lucky strides over to us with a crumbled, scribbled-all-over copy of what I pray isn't next week's script in their hands. Maybe if our leader can strut in here without a care in the world, then I cannot worry so much about getting sweaty after a fight scene. Mortal peril is the essence of fight scenes. They're a push and pull of both sides, never yielding, having both their bodies and hearts on the lines. A fight scene without emotions racing is pointless fodder. I'll take that as they're happy with it. They're not making us reshoot it, so I'll be happy too. And on that note, they quickly look around, trying to find someone? I leave you with Cassandra. Just as quick as they approached us, Lucky hightails it in the other direction, towards the person disassembling the camera setup, already on to their next task. Wait! My legs stumble, trying to get a better footing as my fight or flight senses kick in at the mention of her name. Too little too late, I hear the clicking of heels coming from behind me. Okay. A tall, lightly tanned woman in business formal closes in on us, clipboard clutched to her chest with a smartphone in her other hand. You've got an interview in an hour and a half with Channel 3. Serena, Victor, and Angel will be joining you as well. It takes 25 minutes to get there, and they expect you to arrive at least... This girl is... She knows everything. She's so coordinated. They expect you to arrive at least 40 minutes beforehand so they can do their own makeup routines and run through, so I advise you to run to the nearest shower. Anywhere. I sigh. There's no use in arguing with her. If Lucky is the gear that keeps the story and direction turning, then Cassandra is the gear that keeps the production and financials turning. Her job is to relay progress and deterrence back to the investors, work with our agents and managers to plan anything relating to the production, and in general, keep the lights on. I love when visual novels do that. When I think that a line is over and then I press to continue and it continues on the same page, oh my god. They both seem to implicitly trust each other with their respective parts, despite their night and day appearances. That was great. And now an interview. No time to rest now, huh? One of our co-stars, a young woman playing my classmate, stretches her arms as she walks towards us. I believe she's only a couple years older than me. Behind her, our other two co-stars playing as classmates follow. You can rest tonight, but I'm ready for anything. Our youngest classmate bounces up behind her. She's around 18 and a natural at anything involving singing or dancing. I only know that much because of how popular she is on Mimic Mic, the largest video platform. Victor, our last classmate, comes up from behind me, smacking my shoulder. He hands me and Ren bottles of water from the refreshment stand. Come on, it's our first interview for this production. Get cleaned up and let's go. It's hard for me to pin an age on him. He's certainly too old for high school, though almost all of us are, but he could be in college or with kids. Maybe both. And then again, it's hard to picture him sitting down for more than a few minutes, let alone raising anyone. Alright. I turn back to Ren, who's already downed half his bottle. Are you coming with us? He lowers the water bottle down to speak, but Cassandra cuts him off. He has a prior engagement already. You're running out of time to get ready. Short and sharp. Cassandra leaves it at that before walking away briskly. Ren shrugs, drinking the last of his water. I've got an interview elsewhere. But hey, this means no more questions for you, right? I'm sure he means it in a sincere, lighthearted way, but little does he realize that's the exact opposite of what I want. Please, come with us so the interviewers gawk over you instead of me. With a quick wave, he walks off. Victor drags me away from the set and towards our trailers. So, how did each of you get into acting? I can't help but give a little quiet sigh of relief. It's all been standard boilerplate we don't know you questions for a general audience. It's exactly what Jules coached me on, even though my nerves were expecting anything but. I was always outgoing as a kid, but I never really got into sports. A friend of mine convinced me to take theater as my elective instead of band in middle school, and it just clicked. I'm a choir kid, surrounded by theater kids. That's fun because I was both, though. Angel perks up as we turn to her. I've always liked playing pretend, and I've always been into dancing. For a while I thought I'd only be able to do dancing, but an agent reached out to me to see if I was interested in acting. She smiles sweetly at the interviewer and claps her hands in her lap to show she's done. My parents enrolled me in ballet as a kid. Okay, I could see that. I barely know you, but I could see that. I liked the performance part of it more than dancing, so they helped me get into acting. That sounds nice. It's my turn. My parents pushed me into acting when I was little too. It's just something I've always enjoyed. The interviewer, a sizable man, looks back down at his notes. He clears his throat before continuing. So, is it daunting being on a set for such a long time? Shooting has only just begun, right? But you'll be there for years, hopefully, right? To my left, Serena leans forward ever so slightly to take the question first. It's exciting. I've never stayed long on productions like this, so it's definitely new to me. I'm the same. I'm used to smaller productions or only being on set for a few days. I've never actually lived in tandem with a production. Victor agrees with us, and we start talking about different productions we've been on and the quirks of our current setup. Oh, before I know it, the interview is over, and we're being hurried into a cab. Serena politely asked the hostess for a table for 4. Victor was adamant the food here was stellar, so we all just went along with it. I've had so much fast food in the past month that I'm embarrassed to show anyone my bank statements. I can't help that it's quick and easy. We're guided to our table through a rather cramped but still stylish eating area. After several rejections, it's just the 4 of us eating together. Not that I really know any of them yet, aside from casual introductions and small talk. Oh, so the celebrity didn't want to come? Angel picks the seat beside me, and we sit down. Last I checked, she has just shy of 6 million followers. She's more of a celebrity out of any of us here, really. He said he had an interview at the same time as us. Victor just shrugs and takes a seat. I figured he'd say no anyway. He keeps to himself on sets a lot. Oh? Angel leans into the table, pretending to grab a piece of bread. Despite her small stature, she's suddenly become somewhat intimidating. Why do I feel like I'm about to be included in a gossip corner? I was a side character in a movie he was acting in a year ago. It was a minor role, but I still saw him on set a few times. He leans back in his chair and drinks some of his water. Nothing major. Aww. She deflates in her chair. Across from me, Serena stirs her drink. It's our first month on set. I'm sure we'll all be more acquainted as we film more. Especially when people start coming out of their trailers more often. I don't bother meeting their gaze. Still, it's kind of fun being on set with such famous people. It's just weird to see a trending headline and it's someone you know, though. Angel innocently sips her water. Let's leave the trending headlines to someone else. You picked a terrible role to be out of the internet's eyes. To be honest, I auditioned for a smaller role. Angel pumps her fist beside me. And look where you are now. Serena leans against her arm, looking at me straight on. Wow, that's amazing. Lucky must have been really impressed. Impressed is a word for it, sure. I was thinking more along the lines of morbid curiosity at throwing someone who's only been able to book commercials the past few years into the spotlight, but that works too. Really, I don't know why they picked me. I told them my history in the interview. I'm still trying to get used to the set, to be honest. I'm so used to smaller sets or doing background scenes away from the main cameras. It's like the difference from playing baseball on a dirt field and then playing your next match in a stadium in front of thousands. A shock to the system is putting it lightly. Victor looks up from the drink menu. I know, right? It was just a couple years ago I finally got my first speaking role after being shoved to crowd work for the longest. And now we're front and center. I'll drink to that. Angel flips through the menu, not paying us much attention anymore. What about you, Nico? Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely the biggest set I've been on. I'm used to working on commercials and kids' TV shows. Not that I'll ever say which. Same. I've been mostly doing side characters in kids' shows the past few years. Maybe we've been on some together. Maybe. Change the subject, change the subject! Have you been on any big sets before, Angel? Angel thumbs her menu. The crease in her brow quickly comes and goes before she looks up at me. Nope, this is my first time on a film set. I don't know that I believe that, but continue. Really? She slyly pulls out her phone and opens up an app on it before sliding it across the wooden table. Lucky scouted me from my Mimic Mike videos. They said they wanted someone charismatic and extroverted for the role, so they asked me to come to auditions. You're real popular on Mimic Mike, aren't you? Oh, have you seen some of my videos? I avoid looking at her, instead grabbing a quick swig of my drink. A few. A lot. I never was able to get into those kinds of apps. So much happening all at once. It is a rather, young app, to say the least. They're definitely faster paced than most. I'll follow you, Angel, okay? Her face glows as Serena pulls out her phone. Okay. I feel their gazes turn to me. What about you? Shit. I can't let her know I've been a fan for months. That's too embarrassing, right? Oh, yeah, I'll follow you too. I get out my phone and carefully open the app, acting like I don't know her account. Her watchful eye doesn't waver. Try as I might, I can't keep her from seeing all of my screen. I knew it. You already follow me. I slump in my chair, defeated. You could have just said that you were looking up your co-stars and followed her from there, like a couple days ago, but okay. You caught me. Serena claps her hands. So you already knew who she was. Victor leans back in his chair, taking a sip of his drink. What's the big deal? You've got a lot of followers, right? So it's not unusual for people on the production to already know you. Angel wasn't paying attention anymore. She's already in her own little world. I watch a lot of videos in my downtime, that's all. And the best kind at that. At least one of us is having fun. A waitress swings by bringing our food, a hearty portion of slow-marinated bulgogi and rice on the side. It smells amazing, but the steam almost fogs over my glasses. Maybe I should have left my contacts in a little longer. Victor is the first to grab a heapful. Following him, we all dig in. Right? The dim lights on the exteriors of the buildings don't do much to lead the way back to my trailer. I stumble along, guided mainly by the moonlight. My exhaustion doesn't help either. I was able to take a small nap on the ride back from the restaurant, but it's left my eyes more bleary than anything. Normally, I'd be able to ask for a ride on a cart back to my trailer, but there's no one around except the odd security guard. Most of the production crew has gone home by now, and everyone who stays on set seems to have already called it a night. Except him. Leaning against the door to his trailer is Ren, smoking a cigarette. I can't stand the smell of cigarettes, but I don't see a way to walk past him without him seeing me. So I casually walk towards him. That is to say, I awkwardly meander towards him since I'm passing in his line of sight, so I might as well approach him. A small burst of wind brings a slight chill to the air as I approach. We're both co-workers. That interviewer was right. We'll be working together for hopefully years. I need to get more comfortable talking to him and being around him. Admittedly, I haven't been very sociable with any of my co-workers aside from tonight, but I've got to change that eventually. But why does he have to be a smoker? Sure, it's hot in photo shoots, but it just reeks in person. He gives me a smile once he sees me. How'd your interview go? Just be casual, like earlier today. Alright, I'm still pretty new to them, but we had a good time. They get easier as you do more. Eventually it feels like you've heard the same question 1,000 times and can hold an interview in your sleep. I give a shrug. I still feel like I need to study for them. Just wait until you start dreaming about having interviews. That's when you know you've got to take a break. Sounds more like a nightmare. Ren flicks his cigarette to shake off some sparks. Definitely. It was an interview from hell where it just wouldn't end and was broadcasted live. I'd answer a question, but they'd say the answer wasn't good enough and make me answer it again. Live? That sucks. He takes a puff of his cigarette and exhales. Most aren't that bad. These days, if they're damn annoying, I let them know. Nothing worse than someone fishing for headlines. Telling off an interviewer sounds like you'd be starting more trouble than preventing. How many times have you run into that sort of thing? Too many to count. I used to get them all the time when I first became popular. He chuckles to himself with a terrible smirk on his face. One time, someone had the gall to ask me about my sex life while my mom was in the audience. That sucks. I was 18, but I was still in high school. I'd simply die on the spot. Let's just say she was more horrified than I was. Did you answer honestly? A breeze starts to pick up again, but I hardly notice it. How'd you bounce back after that? I'd be too scared to go to any afterwards. I set boundaries. My agent is upfront about what we can and won't talk about while booking interviews now. Some of it's more specific things like NDAs, while others are more general. Setting exactly what I wouldn't talk about just made things a lot easier. It also gave me a little more time since I wasn't booking so many interviews. Ren puffs smoke out again. How does he stand it? The interviews, but also the smoking. So, do you like interviews? A moment passes before he responds. Job's a job. Interviews are just a part of it. Personal branding and building a public image, that shit. He waves his hand in the air as a yada yada before continuing. There's a lot worse parts of the job. Like these damn cigarettes. I started smoking for a role I had and now I can't stop. Ren sighs. You're lucky they're not putting you on a stricter diet and workout regimen. I was on a water diet for a few days for one movie, and I don't mean the kind of only drink water with meals one. I take a step back. You mean no food at all? He looks back at me, giving me a coy look. How do you think people get washboard abs? They're definitely not natural. Don't crush my dreams like that. I can barely go a day without a soda, let alone food. If Lucky ever asks that of me, well, I think it's back to commercials. The moon hangs high above us. I don't want to leave just yet, but it is getting late. He smushes the butt of his cigarette into the concrete, making sure it's extinguished. You'll see what I mean eventually. Does he mean about how the industry is? Look, I might not know how they treat blockbuster actors, but I've been in the acting industry since I was a kid. I think I'm gonna call it a night. We start back at, what time? 6. Lucky wants a few morning shots. Too damn early. You're telling me. See you then. See ya. He waves and turns back towards his trailer. I head on down the path and reach my own. And just like that, my first one-on-one with one of the biggest celebrities in the world right now was over. No, my first one-on-one with one of my current co-workers. I've always hung around in the background or in minor roles, jobs that while I was on the camera never brought me much attention. But now, everything is on me. My parents can't dictate my roles anymore. That's nice. I turn on a light in my dark trailer and flop on my bed, falling asleep not long after. Oh, Chapter 2, Presidential Matters. Okay. Interesting that this is cut into chapters like that. Like, I know it's cut into acts, but I don't know, I wasn't expecting multiple chapters per act. Anyway, why is the Royal Guard coming into class? Yeah, that's kind of weird. Nate, Selena, Vance, and Anna, can you all follow this gentleman? It looks like you're being summoned for an honor roll event? Honor roll. Also interesting that their names in this are so similar to their actual names. Among those who live in the city, the smallest group has always been the elite. The stockbrokers, the real estate managers, and the largest group, government workers. While a majority of government workers, like Selena's father, are lower paid but keep the lights on, there are others who work in the shadows. Some you'll even see without ever noticing. Others you hope you'll never see. Okay, that's just the front of campus. All right. Phew. Wow. What do you think? That's so cool. Oh my god, that animation. What do you think? How'd they hear about yesterday and find out about us? Just keep smiling. All right, let's go. I love her. Oh my god. Mr. Charles, I love this too. Seeing the back of his head? This is really cool. Good afternoon. I'm so glad you all could join me. It's an honor to meet you, sir. The pleasure is all mine, don't worry. It's a nice change of pace to meet such loyal citizens, and you're all so young. I don't want to distract you all from your studies, but I like to spend time getting to know my future constituents. A break from class and we all get to meet our president? Sounds great. I hope I won't keep you all too long. I'm sure your education system is treating you all well. Yes. Our classes are going well, thank you. That's good to hear. I've been concerned about there being some disturbances in our schools. No, nothing out of the ordinary. Out of the ordinary? Someone here used to pick fights. I did not. They came to me. How'd you know I was talking about you? I can't say I was much different when I was younger. For your sake, try not to let it get to the point of breaking bones. Mine or theirs? Damn. I hope your only troubles at school are a few youthful tussles. I've heard of a few rumors of worrisome groups soliciting younger people. None of these groups have approached any of you, have they? No, sir. That's good to hear. If anyone suspicious makes themselves known, you all will let us know, okay? Good. Now, let's eat. Oh, okay. Lunch, too. Cut. You. I slouch in my chair, letting my arms dangle to my side. Despite how plush they seem, it's all for looks. They feel more like wooden slabs than chairs for nobility. Or presidents, I guess. Beside me, Victor stretches his arm before plopping down on the table. He gives me a grin. Make yourself comfy. I don't see them changing these seats unless a tornado comes by and sucks them all up. I think it'd just grab the trailers instead. An assistant who looks around our age brings us some water before hurriedly scampering off. Angel eyes the bottle up and down before taking a meager sip. She didn't poison it. At least I guess she didn't. She makes a frumpy face and puts the bottle down. Don't tell me you're a water elitist. Serena feigns shock, bringing her hand in the front of her mouth. Angel pouts. We all have our own tastes. And yours is $5 a bottle? For the first time, she gets a little flustered. I don't look at things like that. I just hand them my card. Holy shit, how rich is she? No, how old is she? I mean, she's been popular for like a year now. Did she get accustomed to living lavishly that quick? Wait, how much do online celebrities even make? Feeling miffed, Angel unscrews the cap and drinks more. To be honest, I'm more of a tea person. What kind? Chai. Oh, nice. I have no clue what that tastes like. A hot cup of chai tea? She claps her hands together with a dreamy look on her face. I've decided that's what I want for lunch. Just tea? Actually. I turn to see a large figure approaching us from the snack table. It's the older man playing President Charles. Though I can't pinpoint it, his face looks like someone I've seen a lot in the business. That is to say, he looks like a typical older gentleman actor. I was hoping you all would like to eat lunch with me after we wrap. A real lunch. My treat. I blink. Free food? Absolutely. Ooh, okay. Although it's not as regal looking as our castle luncheon set, the diner we find ourselves at is still nicer than I'd have picked. Of course, I'm still in the mindset of scraping money and sleeping on my agent's couch. It's mid-afternoon by the time we arrive, but the diner is mostly full with patrons. The waitress that seats us chats casually with Mr. Clark. He's not actually a big celebrity, is he? I don't see many heads turning our way aside from a few onlookers eyeing the bigger-than-usual party being seated. She leads us to a half booth, half table in the back. I scoot into the booth alongside Serena and Angel. I've always considered it good manners to take the booth and let the adults take the actual chairs. Interesting, if there's a choice. I'm not sure what that says about me. I just like booths and I don't like chairs, so I usually take the booth, but interesting. I'm glad you all could join me. I'd like to get acquainted with everyone else before we start shooting, but I ran out of time for this production. When we were filming earlier, he had a tempered but commanding, almost menacing presence. The man in front of me now is a mild-mannered gentleman. He has to be a grandparent. It's good to formally meet you too. Are any of you from Atlanta? Beside him, Victor looks up from his menu. I am, actually. I've lived here the past, 15 or so years. That's great. Where are you at? The two talk more about Atlanta and how bad traffic is on I-85 while I thumb through the menu. I only moved here a few years ago because my new agent was here, so I don't have much to say. Angel leans over to see my menu, as if our menus are any different. To be honest, she's overly familiar. On camera, I don't care if she wraps her arm around mine, I'll do mostly whatever the director says. But in public, I'm just not used to people touching me. What are you getting? I shrug. Chicken tenders? Let's go. So boring. They can't mess up chicken tenders. You come to a place like this and expect them to mess up your food? Just send it back. That's rude. It's ruder to assume they won't do their job right in the first place. She giggles to herself. Try their nachos or salad if you want to be plain. What's wrong with plain chicken? Now leaning over from my right, Serena enters the fray. What are you whispering about? What are you going to get? Country fried chicken. Angel throws her hands up, defeated. What's her problem? I like the white gravy on it. Gross. I hate white gravy. Victor and Mr. Clark turn back to us, having just finished laughing about a new parking lot being built downtown. If you've never been here before, I recommend their cream of mushroom soup. Gross. All of their soups are good. I try to keep my face from showing my reaction. Mushroom soup. Do you come here a lot? Yes, I've been coming here for years. I bring my grandkids here sometimes when they come to visit. So how'd Lucky rope you into this? Finally, someone asked the question I've been wondering, just not nearly in the way I would have worded it. Mr. Clark takes a long sip of his iced tea before responding. A few years ago, Lucky approached me for a production they were pitching. They wanted me to play a main role in the show, a wealthy businessman of some sort, but I had a prior commitment and declined them immediately. I could have easily turned down my other engagement or asked for my part in its schedule to be pushed up, but I didn't. To be frank, I didn't believe in their vision. I didn't believe in them. Angel puts down a piece of bread she was munching on long enough to speak. But now you do? He nods. Afterwards, the show went on to win an Emmy for Best Direction and Best Screenplay for that year. It's a little embarrassing to admit, but I was envious that it wasn't me. He adjusts his watch, the glint from the gold rim catching my eye. I'd shrugged them off when they first approached me, and yet, for some reason, they came to me again, pitching their latest idea. They still had the same bright optimism as the first time we'd met. I knew I couldn't say no this time. Mr. Clark gives us a gentle smile. I barely remember my own audition for the production. I'd had a string of unsuccessful auditions and wasn't convinced this would go anywhere either. When Lucky asked me to come to an interview afterwards, I was still sure this would all be another dead end. I wasn't expecting them to actually talk to me. Why do you act? I didn't know how to answer it. The obvious answer would be for money. The longer answer would be because my parents put me up to it when I was a kid. But the answer that came out of my mouth was different. I want to be myself. On my right, Serena leans forward. The movement snaps me out of my thoughts. That's it. I couldn't figure out where I'd seen you from, but I remember now. Huh? You played in Forever and Eternity, didn't you? Mr. Clark smiles meekly, palming the back of his head. I did. It was one of my first and longest roles. Forever and Eternity is thankfully something I've heard of but never actually watched. It was a long-running soap opera that was popular a few decades ago, but aside from that, I don't know much about it. My older sister used to love it. I remember she'd watch it when I came home from high school every day. She turns to Angel and I. He was the owner of a major conglomerate whose 3 sons are all vying to be the next owner. All of them tried to kill him at different points. Damn. Did they succeed? Yeah, several times. They killed him several times? Mr. Clark chuckles. Only a few times. Only a few times? But you still died multiple times. It's been a while since then. The show ended a few years ago, and ever since then I've kept a low profile and stayed home with my wife. That's nice. That means he's the only one of us who's been on a production longer than this. How'd you like being on set for such a long time? That must have been so many years of your life. It was challenging, to be honest. He eases his shoulders and takes a breath, collecting his thoughts. Forever and Eternity ran for 36 years. While I was able to film other productions during the show, it was almost 4 decades of my life. We started filming when I was 30. I married and had children with my co-star before it wrapped. Okay. I could understand that, because, like, your co-stars are the only people that you know, so... I get it. You married one of your co-workers? Come on, Victor. She played your wife in the show and is now your actual wife. Yes. When we first met, she was strictly only business, but before long, we began spending more time together. By the time our 10th season rolled around, we were celebrating anniversaries of our own. How nice. Angel slurps her drink a little too loudly in my ear. Yeah. What's it like, filming with your significant other? A delight. I couldn't ask for a better co-star. This guy's still in his honeymoon phase decades later. Wouldn't you want to work besides your best friend every day if you could? That's how it is. Your best friend. I hear a sniffle beside me. No, 2. For someone who wasn't impressed just a little ago, Angel's eyes sure are watery now. So sweet. I guess it would be. I can't really imagine it, though. The rest of the luncheon goes by quickly, almost too fast. Before I know it, we're saying goodbye and heading our separate ways. Okay, really long cut to black there. Wow. We walk off of the elevator into a well-lit rooftop terrace decorated to the nines. There's a casual sitting area already filled with people, with a bar off to the side, and doors for walking out onto the rooftop. This is much bigger than I was expecting, both the venue and the amount of guests. There's already a crowd up here, and the party doesn't even start for another quarter of an hour. My stomach lurches. Serena nudges my arm. I love how many outfit changes they have. Oh my god, okay. Despite looking lovely in a beautiful form-fitting black to blue gradient dress, her face is frozen in a mixture of worry and panic. I raise my arm and she slips her hand around it. We'll make it through our first network party for the show somehow. The 2 of us take our first steps towards the crowd of people chatting. Reality sets in before I can even make a 3rd step. We're both wildly out of our elements, and the only people we know here are the ones we arrived with. How about a drink? Let's make it 3. It says a lot about a person to arrive at a party and less than a minute later make a beeline towards the food. Thankfully, I couldn't care less, and neither could Serena. We both grab a drink and meagerly sip on it. I survey the party as a way to procrastinate. I was exaggerating when I assumed we wouldn't know anybody here, but it turns out I wasn't. Try as I might, I can't recognize any of these people. After all, they're investors and people from the network. People who work behind the scenes instead of in front of cameras all day. Being around so many strangers is already making me feel skittish. I take a drink to help my nerves, but it's not nearly enough. I feel a clap on the back of my shoulder, opposite of Serena. You know you're going to give off a bad impression if you hang around the bar the entire time. He's dressed in a navy blue suit jacket and suspenders underneath. His plaid slacks were certainly a choice, but it fits him, personality-wise. I'm not sure half these people would remember. He reels back in an exaggerated fashion. Phew, and I thought we were here to be chummy-chummy with some new friends. New friends, sure. I'd rather make friends with the bartender first. At least come out and look out the window. The view from here is pretty amazing. Okay. With some coaxing, Victor makes us go out to the corner of the room where I'm finally able to get a good look at how far up we are. He wasn't lying. The view from up here is vibrant and lively. Large street lamps look like fireflies against the comically small street below. There's something calming about seeing everything from this far away. The party behind us slips away, and with it, some of my anxieties. I can't help but be entranced by the cars rolling by in slow motion. Enjoying it? On my left, Angel grabs my other arm, swinging closer. Her cute, sparkly cocktail dress bounces. The view or the party? You found the alcohol, so I'd say both. I look down at my drink, which I've only had a few sips of. Honestly, I'm not really a drinker, but I'll take anything that helps to keep me distracted right now. Wait a second. Angel isn't even 21 yet. Stay away from the bar, will you? How else am I supposed to get something to drink? They don't have a water fountain up here. Especially not the kind of water you drink. Angel looks stunned. I can't help but laugh. So, have you had fun so far? She lets go of my arm and leans against the window, pouting. All the people here who aren't interns are like 50. I'm having a grand old time. Angel rests her head on the window before turning around. Her gaze meanders to something behind me. Unlike him. Ooh, who is he? I had a feeling. A raucous laughter erupts from a group behind us. There's a large crowd that has gathered around Ren, all vying for his attention. He says something else and the crowd laughs again. A thin smile crosses his lips. Looks like he's trying to make friends, unlike you lot. The hypocrite struts back over, eating some kind of fancy snack from the bar he chased us away from just a few minutes ago. Name me one person from this party. John. I'm sure there's 10 Johns here. Try again. What? I answered your question. As if I don't have enough people in my personal space, Victor squeezes behind me. Or between me. He just kind of comes up for a cuddle, I guess. An angel and swings his arm around my neck. So let's go make some friends. This is a terrible idea. With Victor's arm still hooked around my neck and Serena's arms delicately wrapped around my right arm, I'm dragged over to Ren's group. I'm terrible with age, but most of them don't look like industry veterans. They're not as old as Angel is claiming, but still a lot older than her. None of them notice us as we walk up. Have you ever met Jefferson? Him? We met on set for Killers in the West a year ago. Never seen anyone so dead set on reviving the Wild West genre by turning it into a murder mystery thriller. He flashes a short and sickeningly sweet smile towards her, causing a splash effect of giggling. They're relishing every second near him. How was it shooting Heartbeats in One? I'm still here, aren't I? The group bursts into laughter. Scratch that, I've got no clue what the hell is going on. Now that I think about it, though, I haven't actually seen any of his movies. Okay, only like one, and that was his last superhero movie. But every big actor nowadays is in superhero flicks, so that doesn't count. It's not my fault. It's been months since I've had the time to sit down and watch a movie all the way through. Did you go to the premiere of that new movie your father made? His lip twitches, but his smile doesn't fade. A sharp crease hits his brow, only for a moment, before he regains his composure. No, I was busy. filming. He turns to a passing waiter. Can I get another glass of Merlot? Another woman asks him a question. He flashes a smile and the crowd bursts with laughter. Standing here watching him be gawked at makes me feel like a third wheel, or maybe a 25th wheel. Hey, Nico. Jules, my agent and former roommate, I slept on his couch, comes strutting up to our left. He must have bought a new suit because he jogs over to us in a tweed jacket I haven't seen before. Jules, you told me you couldn't make it. I had to squeeze a few things around, but I made it. Not for long, but I'm here. I take a step away from Victor and Serena to embrace him. It hits me deep in my chest all at once that it's been over a month since I last saw him in person. I've missed him. Victor, you know what? I did see the pants, and sure enough, it does kind of fit. Can I hide this to see it? Yeah. You know, I heard plaid pants, and I thought it was going to be something weird, but it fits. It's okay. Victor reaches over and shakes his hand. I wave Angel over and introduce them all to him. How sweet, an agent that pays attention. Mine is too busy with other clients. My neck starts to heat up. Is it really that uncommon these days? He's more of an older brother to me than an employer. How long are you staying? About... He shuffles around to find his phone before remembering he has a new smartwatch. 4 more minutes. Oh wow, that's really short. Why even stop by? Don't you know they serve some of the best Chardonnay in Georgia here? Ever a man of expensive tastes. He clasps a hand on my shoulder. Look how tense your shoulders are. You've got a lot more of these events in the future, so don't look like a lost puppy so much. The heat on my neck has taken over my face now. I can only hope that the dim lighting hides it. I'm fine, okay? It's just the extra fabric on the shoulders. Shoulder pads aren't in until you make it to the Met, you know. I shake them both off of me. I told you to go with something more casual. There's a difference between casual and eye-catching. Jules gives a hearty laugh at us. Looks like you're in good company now. I knew I had to swing by at least for a few minutes to congratulate you all on the first episode airing. He pats his pockets, looking for something. I would give you all a business card, but I've run slap out. It's alright. I think my agent would get antsy if he saw me looking at another agent's business cards, though maybe it'd help. Does everyone have that bad of a relationship with their agents? I've been bouncing between so many meetings recently, at some point I must have run out. At this rate, I'll need my own manager. My shoulders slump. Please don't forget you're also my manager. Hello there, Ren says. Sure, join the party. The crowd parts as Ren graces us with his presence, a fresh glass of Merlot in hand. Now that he's not mostly hidden from view, I'm able to see his crisp, dark suit with a purple button-up underneath. Here, we can look at it together. Wow, it's purple. It's simple, but effective for someone naturally attractive like him. He firmly shakes hands with Jules. It's good to finally meet the talk of the town. I can barely talk to my work buddies without your name coming up. I hope it's for good reasons. Probably not. A year ago, Jules would have been floundering by now, being face to face with someone so famous. Now he's barely batting an eye. Has he adapted that quickly? Or did he get nerves of steel and is just better at hiding his panic? Can he teach me a thing or two? You don't know how many people are asking what your risk assessment is looking like. Okay, damn, okay. What does that mean? Honestly, don't ask. Whatever he's talking about, Ren understands. He sighs and gives a shrug, but it still feels very customer service-y. Everyone needs a change of pace. At the height of your career? At the height of his career, he needed a change of pace? Come to think of it, Ren is a movie star. When he was younger, he might have been in TV shows or commercials like me, but the past few years, he's been in blockbuster after blockbuster. If he wasn't playing the lead, he was still playing a key role with his name high up on the billing. But now, He's signed himself to spending at least a couple of years filming a TV series. It's no wonder the other agents are talking about the shift. He should be able to book nearly any role he wants. TV series, namely ones not for adults, though, are considered a step down for actors of his popularity. They're longer commitments with ridiculous work hours. What's worse, teen dramas get even less pay and aren't nearly as publicized as the types of movies he's used to. All the momentum and fame he's gained up to this point could be thrown away if this show does terribly. Some agents are probably wondering if he's already gotten tired of the limelight. Some are probably wondering if he's lost it. Ren tries to laugh it off. They act like this is all I can do for the rest of my life. People realize I'll still be in other movies, right? But why? This time, Ren is only able to give a half-hearted shrug and a slight smile. Then he pulls out a business card of his own and hands it to Jules. If you get the chance, you should introduce yourself to my agent. She's always busy, but she's only got 2 clients, okay? I guess you don't need many clients for your business to stay afloat if you've got at least one A-lister. Still, I've never heard of an agent with only 2 clients. Jules nods and readily puts it in his pocket before shaking his hand once more. Thank you, really. I hope this career pivot works out for you. For a brief moment, Ren looks like he's at a loss for words. Before anyone notices, though, he's back to himself and cordially smiles. Thank you. Jules turns back to me and pats my arm. I've got a late night event I need to head to. Call me more, okay? He gives me another pat on the arm before heading out of the party. I really wasn't expecting that. Aw, a little embarrassed? It's nice he made time to come by, though. Yeah. For a while, he only had a handful of clients since he's still new to the industry. Recently, though, he's had a surge of new clients and prospects. It's kept him real busy the past couple of months. Better to be busy than waiting on phone calls. Hey, if he's new to the industry, does that mean he's your second agent? My heart stops for a second. Huh? You know, a couple weeks ago when we were out eating, you mentioned you played in commercials and shows as a child. So, how does she remember this stuff? Serena shoos at her. It's not something you just ask. Why not? Serena flounders with her words as she turns back and forth from Angel and I. Some agents are picky and want their clients to do the heavy lifting. When they don't get the results they want, sometimes the agents will drop their clients. Why of all people is he still listening? They can do that? Well, I palm the back of my burning neck. Now that I'm in the hot seat, I don't see an easy way out. Yeah, he's my second agent. I signed with him over a couple of years ago, after leaving my first one. Victor toasts his almost empty glass. Good for you. Don't be so embarrassed about it. Of course, somebody notices that something's amiss. Why'd you drop your old agent? Somehow, though, I'm able to answer them without a second thought. We couldn't meet eye to eye on what roles I should try for. Okay. Another really long screen. Oh, that's the end of the chapter. Okay, and with that being the end of that chapter, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here, but this is definitely an interesting first look into this game. I was a little bit confused at the beginning, though that's entirely my fault. You know, us opening up during a scene in which the actors are acting in a TV role is an interesting idea, but it kind of opens up for a little bit of weirdness. I don't know, a little bit of like misunderstanding, though it's mostly on me for not realizing, hey, they're actors, they're probably acting. But I'm definitely really enjoying the rest of this game and how it is going. I'm really liking some of the little details in like the programming, I guess, like the characters moving, seeing the backs of their heads, the little thing where like you think that the writing is done on screen and then you hit to continue and the writing continues. I love little details like that in games, and I love seeing all of them pop up in this. Art style is pretty good. I'm definitely excited to see more of this game, and I hope that you guys are too. I'll definitely add it to my list of visual novels that I need to play, and when I get an empty section in my schedule, I'll shove this one in. I'm excited to see more of this, and I hope that you are as well, but I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for now. So, thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for joining me on this little look through Canvas Menagerie. Menage a trois. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the future when I play through the rest of this game and see more of what it's about.